Okay, this time we're going to be designing a fixture, a specified, actually a bathroom water fixture. So, to do this, we will have to draw out the base and the gooseneck and so forth. There are going to be three parts. The handles are going to be separate. So, if you were looking at a countertop, they would have three holes. Alright, so we'll start off with the gooseneck or spout, whatever you prefer calling it. And we're gonna do a rough drawing of a side view of it. So just bear with me as I design it. I have my ortho on. It's gonna be something like this. Actually, I should have ortho off. One. You could do something interesting like that. And have a little nicer base on this. That would be the design of my gooseneck. It's a little weird, I know, but it's a rough draft. I would have to hand draw it, so it'd be easier. But since this is going to be an all computer class, all video class, I'm not going to be able to show it to you guys. That's the gooseneck, and the handle is going to, of course, have the same base. So make a copy of that. And close it up. We're going to have something like this. Not so high up. And I'm going to move this over to the center. So like that. So that would be one, and then the other side you have another one. And that would be your fixture. Now, we're actually going to make it nice and nicer than this, of course. So, let's get started with that. So first of all, we'll start with the base. I'm on top view, so I'm going to draw it as if I was on top view. The base will be about 3 inches diameter. And the second base, which is where the faucet starts, will be a little bit smaller, so we'll do 2.5. That's a little too big actually. Delete that. Make it 2 inches. Oops, 2. And of course, all these dimensions are going to be different based upon your drawing. I will give you guys a rough design with the dimensions, so you guys can get a feel of what you can make. You can actually just completely copy the assignment or design your own, but using the same tools, because we're going to be using Loft here, so I want to make sure you guys understand that. That's our base. What we need to do next is do how it's curving in. So I'm going to change my view. I'm going to go to left side view. That's my circle. If I do a little oops, I guess not. That was my circle. I'm on top. I want to do left. There we go. So my gooseneck was going to go this way. It's on the left side. I will use a arc or a 3-point arc, or actually I could use a spleen, make even a nicer design. But before I do that, I have to move this up. Let's say the ortho on. I'll move it up half an inch. Now maybe 1 full inch. There we go, 1 full inch. And use my spleen to design the actual gooseneck. This is where I have to turn off ortho, and actually have to go to my left view so I can actually make it nice on the X and Y plane. So my gooseneck will be nothing like this. I'll move this over. Actually, I'm going to redesign this. I should have had a couple extra points. The more points you have, the more you can modify it. So let's not do this. Or I'm gonna start from this side. So I know the faucet has to end somewhere here, and I want a cool design. It's just not. Oh, there we go. It's having issues with this. So to fix this in this situation, that happens, what you may want to do is go to your left view, like mine, and delete this. I'm actually gonna draw reference lines using ortho where I want my spleen points to be at. So let's say I want my first one to, of course, be the center. Then I'm going to have my second one, someone over here. Then I have one more here. Let's see, a little bit down over here, there. Yeah. You'll see once I actually draw a spleen. So I'm going to get this spleen, select, 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 select. I should have skipped this corner right here. That's okay. I can go back, or I can just move this out. And that should be, this time it should be perfectly, aligned. Of course, this is a weird design, but the weirder, I guess, the more interesting. So, it's not a big deal. That's going to be actual my gooseneck, which isn't too bad of a design. I'm going to actually design my gooseneck to be a eclipse, or ellipse. Right. So I'm going to use this as my reference. Size would be 0.5 by 0.375. It's not let me do this. Oh, I'm not even wrong. Make sure my UCX I'm on top. And I go to that. I'm actually just gonna rough it in because I won't have those exact spec I want. I can always stretch it out. There we go. And I'm gonna move it from its center point to the end of my gooseneck. So that's doing that. I use this whole thing, make a copy of it from here to here. I'm going to actually scale this one a little bit less by 10%, so I do 0.9. So I copy this, and here I'm going to have to change my UCX specs to left view so I can start rotating it. So I make sure I grip it. There we go. I'm going to try off F8 so I can actually get it at an angle. And I'm going to move it over again. This time I'm moving it here. And I guess I'll scale it down just a little bit. By 20%. Say 20% this time. Gotta copy this one again. Rotate this again. Move it from the center. If you can't get the center, what you can do is just go over the exterior and hopefully the center turns on. If not, you can just rotate. That can also help. Oh. Or at one point you might just have to draw a line across to get the center, or the midpoint at this point. Delete that extra line. Got that. I'm going to actually move it down more. And that's the center, even though it didn't look like that. Doesn't even have to be the center, really. There we go. And again, I'm going to scale it down. This time I'm going to scale it a lot less, because I need it to get really small, so I'm going to do 0.5, half the size. Because once I get to the bottom here, I want it to be small enough just for the faucet itself. So scale it, or actually I can make it just a little bit bigger. That could be interesting. Now, just to test it out how it looks, I go to loft, go from 1 to the second, to the third, to the fourth, enter, but I use my path. So I just type in P for path, or select it, and that's my path right here. I click enter. You guys can't see it, but there's actually a solid object here. So I go to format, view, visual style, conceptual. You can see I actually have a shape that I designed, which isn't too bad. I mean, actually quite interesting. I might even have that part here, the aerator. I'm just gonna leave it as it is, and that, or actually I might have to make this bigger because that pipe looks a little small. So I'm gonna go undo a few times. Oh wow, that's more than a few times. There we go. And I'm gonna actually scale this up. So I select this and scale it up 1.5. Again, go back to loft, or you can type it in, or you can go to draw, modeling, loft. Start from the big one to the small one. It's usually easier that way. It causes less problems. P for path. Select the path. Enter. And now I can go to my conceptual view. Alright, I think that's a good thickness, so the water actually does go through without ease. You know, here I can do the same thing with the loft. So loft from this to this. There we go. And I have my actual base. A 3-inch cover. The pipings are of course going to be a lot smaller. For some reason I decided to do a 3-inch cover. And I'm going to make the copy of this because I want the same kind of design for the handles. But before I get there, I'm going to actually do some fillets here. So I go fillet, go radius 0.25. Let's see if that works. Yep, so then what I need to do is union it. But I try to stay away from unioning unless I am completely sure I want to keep it like it is. In this case, if I'm not sure but I still want to try the union and see how it looks, what I can do is I can make a copy. That's what I'm going to do, make a copy, move it over, and now I'm going to union. So if I ever need to go back, I'll always have the split one. I'll show you guys what you can do if you union it and you want to split it, especially this one. So I'm going to do that. I union it into one piece. I'm going to go fillet, radius 0.25, select this edge. There we go. Looks a little neater. Do that too, and that piece. And I can even do that. But that's too small. That's actually pretty interesting. Now, so that's my faucet, gooseneck. Let me go back and I'll show you guys how to undo this union. Okay, so